Have you ever really thought about it? That tiny gap between deciding to do something and then actually doing it? Well, today we're going to dive right into that incredible journey. We're talking about the lightning-fast world of your nervous system. Okay, to kick things off, let's just imagine a really simple everyday action. Picture this. There's a cup of coffee sitting on the table right in front of you. Now in your mind, just reach out and pick it up. Easy, right? Well, you'd be surprised. The process behind that one little movement is, wow, it's just astonishingly complex. So how in the world does a simple thought, like, I want that coffee, turn into a real physical action? The secret? It all happens on your body's very own biological superhighway. Believe it or not, every single thing we do, from a simple blink to running a marathon, it all follows this fundamental three-step process. And this process, it's the absolute core function of our entire nervous system. So it really just boils down to these three things. Step 1, sensory input. That's your body gathering all the info. Step 2, integration. That's where it processes everything. And step 3, motor output. That's the response, the action itself. Okay, so let's apply this to our coffee cup example, shall we? All right, here's that journey in action. First, your eyes, your sensory receptors, they see the cup. That visual information zips off to the brain as sensory input. Then your brain does its thing. It integrates that info. It says, hey, that's a cup, and I want to pick it up. Finally, it fires off a command. That's the motor output straight to the muscles in your arm and hand, telling them exactly what they need to do. Okay, so we've got the process down, but what about the actual hardware that's running the show? Well, the nervous system is basically split into two big parts that work together, kind of like a command center and its huge network of messengers. So first up, you've got the central nervous system, the CNS for short. Think of this as the main headquarters, the CEO's office. It's your brain and spinal cord, and it's making all the big decisions. And then you've got the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. This is the entire messenger network, all the nerves that carry commands from the CNS out to the body, and just as important, bring all that sensory info back. All right, now let's zoom in, and I mean way in. We're going to go from the big picture system level all the way down to the microscopic to meet the single most important player in this entire game, the neuron. And the scale we're talking about here, it's just mind-boggling. Your nervous system isn't just a few of these cells, or even a few million. We're talking about over 100 billion neurons. 100 billion. That creates a network with more than 1,000,000 billion connections. It is by far the most complex network known to exist. So what is a neuron? Well, it's the basic building block of your entire nervous system. And what makes it so special is that it's an excitable cell. Its whole job, its entire purpose in life, is to generate and pass along electrical signals. Yeah, that's right, electricity. That's literally how information moves through your body. Let's take a quick look at how one is built. You've got these branchy things called dendrites. Think of them like antennas, always listening for signals. That signal then goes to the soma, which is the main cell body. Now, if that signal is strong enough, bam, it fires an electrical impulse down this long cable called the axon. And from there, the message gets passed to the next cell in line. It is a strict one-way street for information, no exceptions. Now, think about it. For this whole system to be effective, especially when you need to react in a split second, speed is absolutely everything. But here's the twist. It turns out not all of these nerve signals travel at the same speed. So, do they all travel at the same speed? The answer is a huge, definitive no, not even close. And why they travel at different speeds is super important for, well, everything, from feeling a gentle touch to yanking your hand away from a hot stove. The secret to all this speed? It really comes down to two things: how thick the wire is and how well it's insulated. So on the left, you've got a nice thick axon wrapped in this stuff called a myelin sheath. Just think of that fatty sheath as the rubber coating on a high-quality electrical cable. It stops the signal from leaking out and lets it jump down the line incredibly fast. But then look at the one on the right. It's thin, it's uninsulated, and that poor little signal has to crawl along at a much slower pace. And the difference in speed here is just staggering. Look at these numbers. Those fast, insulated fibers can shoot signals along at up to 120 meters per second. That's over 260 miles per hour. But the slow, uninsulated ones, they max out at around 2 meters per second. This is exactly why when you stub your toe, you feel that sharp initial impact instantly. That's the 260 mile per hour message hitting your brain. But that dull, throbbing ache that shows up a second later, yep, that's the slow lane message finally arriving. So when you step back and put all these pieces together, what you're left with is nothing short of a biological supercomputer. One that's running trillions of operations every single second just to let you be you.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap of the big takeaways. First, every single action is that three-step process: input, integration, output. Second, it's all managed by two main divisions, the CNS command center and the PNS messenger network. Third, the whole thing is powered by billions of these incredible cells called neurons. And finally, the speed of their signals totally depends on their insulation, that fatty myelin sheath.
And if there's only one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this simple but incredibly powerful idea. A neuron's entire job, its whole reason for existing, is to do three things: receive a message, generate a message, and transmit that message. It's the fundamental relay switch at the very heart of everything you think, everything you feel, and everything you do.
So the next time you go to pick up that cup of coffee, just take a second and remember this: that one simple act is actually a symphony. A perfectly coordinated electrical storm firing across billions of cells. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to chew on. If every single thing that makes you, you, every thought, every feeling, every single action is all powered by this incredible biological storm, what does that say about who you really are?